everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. If you can hear me, winds are blowing gale force, 25 to 35 with 45-mile-an-hour gust. Welcome to North Carolina. It was 82 degrees Monday and Tuesday. Got cold last night, down in the low 40s. The high today is like 50 with these winds. Calling for freezing temperatures tonight and tomorrow night. I just don't get it, so I'm not going to babble too much till I can get out of the wind. Stay tuned. Well, we're going to try this, see how bad the wind gets. Why is the 180 down here in front of the shop? Well, it's going on a diet for one. Lose a couple pounds in the rear, and we're going to widen it just a little bit. Why, you may ask? Because I think this is going to be my new go-to for the row crops. We'll plant with it, cultivate, spray, and possibly run the baler and stuff on hay. It's a little off key with my disc. It pulls it okay. I need to really go up a gear to be efficient, and it's too much for it. I lose too much traction. It's not going to pull the chisel plow, and it's not going to pull the 5-bottom. So I think the old Allis will live out her days doing the above stated items, possibly throwing in some baler and hay bind work, of course running the grain drill, hydraulics. But there's several factors in that. One major one, I love the view from the operator station, and two, to get the wheel spacing where I want it and need it. I'm not gonna have to worry about parking somewhere different. You guys all know how I am with shed Tetris. So that being said, need to go out a notch or two on the front axle and see what we can do with these spin outs on the back if I don't lose my religion. So stay tuned. I've got to get me one of those impacts. Here comes the fun part, I guess. Trying to, I don't know what these weigh, probably what, 40 pounds a piece maybe, I don't know. Get them off without mashing my finger. They say that these are a little sought after. I don't know. I doubt they'll ever go back on. I'm sure I'm getting ready to mash my finger again. Maybe not. Yeah, probably 30, 40 pounds maybe. 30. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with that. We'll get all these off. I'll go ahead and jerk the other side off. And then see if we can get the wheels loose. I mean, spin outs, I've never dealt with them before. But supposedly hold the brake and go one way and go the other. I've only got to go out, I think, 3.5 inches on each side. That'll be interesting as well. Stay tuned. Well, we're halfway in the shade, but I'm going to pull one out of Allis Chalmers' book and say, pro tip of the day, make sure you take the stops completely out. For whatever reason, I assumed they were set screws. Had been looking at the holes in the slide rails all day. No, the bolt goes all the way through, so I got it wedged up against that and wouldn't go any further. Dug holes in the yard, backed up, pulled the stop out completely, and it just went right out pretty as you please. I'll have to say, spin out wheels, that's the cat's meow. Now that I know how that works and you're supposed to take the stops completely out, I think the next time will go rather well. Alright, so the old Allis has a new stance in the rear. Lost probably a couple 100 pounds off the back. Get some water out of those tires, and I gotta go out with the front quite a bit. I hope I did my measurements right as far as the shed. I was talking about that in the beginning of the video, I think. I'll go down here and remeasure and make sure I'm not gonna have to find a new spot for this. Alright guys, we'll catch back up with you tomorrow. Good morning. Saturday, April the 6th, back at the farm. Get back on the 180 this morning. Got the rear wheels finished up yesterday. Didn't get you any footage of that. Of course, the camera battery died. Rear weights are off. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do on the water on the tires. I may leave it in, see how bad it is. But we gotta get the front axle spread apart. If that goes well, I'm hoping to hook the cultivators up today, get those halfway adjusted, and then we'll just have to see what kind of time we got from there. I'm not sure. I want to dig the corn planter out and be getting myself better acclimated with that. That may be another video. So let's get started and see what we can do today. Well, I don't know. That might work actually. Just flipping the tires around. I gotta see. I don't. Let's see. 3.5 inches. So what? Inch and some, 3/4, and 5/8, something like that. So might work. I don't like it. I absolutely hate wheels spun around like that. I know, silly. Chrome doesn't get you home, but I don't know. I hate to even mess with the tie rods, but I don't know. Puts a little more stress on the bearing set out like that, but I don't know. Choices. Let me think on it. Well, I'm not going to tell you a story. If this gives me the right spacing, I think it's what we're going to go with. It's like it's a give or take, because I know you guys think I'm crazy on some things, but I absolutely hated the way the rear wheels look with those weights and being set in that far. I love deep dish, I guess, on the rear wheels. That sounds silly, but I have some quirks, actually a lot of quirks. But anyway, not fond of the wheels, but most of these that I have seen, ironically, the wheels are turned the other way, so not going to complain. I mean, I don't have to mess with the tie rods or the axle spacing, and I think this will work because it looks like that rib over there is in the center of the rear tire, so that'll just get me that much further ahead if that's the case. Let me get it flipped around and we'll pull a tape measure and see if we got lucky for a change. They say a blind squirrel gets a nut every now and again. I'm sure there's a better method to this than I'm doing, but we'll double check. I forget things easily. I think it's 77 center to center on my tires here. Yeah, actually 77 1/4. So the front ones are going to be just under 77, so they're going to run almost identical with these, the front tires on the Allis, and then the back ones are 77 center to center. So that'll be perfect, because that way my tire will be spaced right in between my rows. So I think we can call the wheel spacing good. I'm not fond of the wheels being flipped around, but we'll live with it and go from there, see how it does. Now the sun's in your eyes, I know, but all right, well, feel good about that aspect of it. Finally something went good. So I'm gonna go out here and get some fuel and go ahead and top it off before prices go up, and that'll be ready. And come back and I'll bring you guys along. We'll see if we can get at least one of the cultivators, the Danish tine, if nothing else. I've got to put some feed on the Lillington, like I said, but I think cousin Scott has some that we might do some swapping on, possibly. But anyway, let me get situated here, get fuel, and I'll bring you back. We're backing up to the cultivator, see what we can do, guys. Well, in the second part of the sprayer rebuild, which you have yet to see, should come out after this video, it's a better explanation of the boards. And I'm sure you can figure it out in short, quick, and in a hurry right here. Anyway, this is just a rough, I think these were set on 30-inch rows, I guess. I don't know. But I'm having to move them out just a little bit from a 38, so we're just going to get kind of a ballpark. We still got to put the wheels on it, and then some back feet. But I just thought while I had everything together, we'd go ahead and get the cultivators that are rough, so when I do get ready to use them, I won't have near as much to fight with. The bolts all came loose, so let's see if we can get this one set up. Probably go back and drop it and grab the Danish tine and get it situated, and go from there. I talked to cousin Scott. He gave me some good rough measurements of how he sets his up, so that's what we're doing.
It's the beauty of these Lillington and KMC rolling basket cultivators. They're just infinite possibilities how to set these up to make them do what you want them to do. Not that I know what I'm doing by any means using it, but we're gonna see. So making a few adjustments, and I think we'll be wrapped up here in a second and go back here and hook up to the Danish tine and see how that looks behind the tractor. So stay tuned. Well, we swapped out and got the Danish tine cultivator on now. Going to ease it out a little bit. I think these are 36-inch rows, so it doesn't have to go out much. Hopefully all the bolts come loose on this one. It'll be ready. I've got the coulter, I think, for this one. I've got to put it on. But the main thing, we'll get all the adjustments situated, for the most part anyway. And we might still have time to go dig the planter out. I don't know, I got my fingers crossed. If not, we'll put that on another video, but let's see what we can do here. Well, this one side is 36 and one side is 32. Now granted, it was a 6-row or 4-row cultivator, and they've cut the ends off. But I've got my rows set up center line on my tractor, so I don't really, I haven't asked anybody for help on these. This one is right, it's centered with the tractor. I've got the cultivator centered completely. Center line, dead at us, it's centered 5 times. So I'm going to move this one out a little bit, move that one out a little bit, and then I may have to move the tines a little bit. I've got to do some research and figure out exactly how far away from the rows I need to run the inside tines, and go from there. So if these bolts come loose, I believe we'll be pretty good. I don't know if they'll be as easy to move as the Lillington was, but looking good so far. And I mean, the wheels are in good shape. That other John Deere cultivator that I bought way back, it was missing a couple of wheels. So I think this is an international brand, Danish tine, so naturally pulling it behind an Allis. Right on the money. Well, I just backed it up here in front of the shop, just kind of go over everything again. Remember if there was any other parts or pieces I had left off, because I tore it all apart to bring it home. If any of you guys have been with me for a while, it had the no-till bar and coulters on the front and a longer hitch. We took all that off. I'm not going to be putting that back on, you know, with my conventional tillage.
not to say might not use it in the future, or if I get time this year. I talked to a friend of mine, if he's got any leftover seed, I might plant a couple rows of no-till just to see how it does. But anyway, that's another story, another day. I got a good cylinder on it. I got my little electronic box, the lights that tell you when the planter's moving here with the little limit switches. It's pretty cool. So I do have some electronics, guys. But anyway, I'm tickled to death with it, honestly. When I purchased it, it was planting right before I got it. He just upgraded to a John Deere 7000. So a lot of this is repeat for some of you guys, and some of you are new since then. But our wheel spacing and whole aspect of this video went great. We're dead center on that. Dead center on that one too, so can't complain at all. But anyway, I think we'll call this one good. We'll tuck it back away in the building, start fresh on another day, getting everything greased up, get all the parts back on it. I'll have the little strip down there that I'm gonna test in, disc up, and we'll take it down there and make a couple blank runs, see how the road markers do, lifting and stuff like that. And you know, keep in mind, guys, I've never planted corn in my entire life with a planter other than one you push by hand. So you know, keep that in mind when the debacle starts, I'm sure. So that being said, I've babbled on enough, probably too much in this video, but really appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for following on the journey with me. Definitely stay tuned, because I'm sure we're going to ramp up for an interesting season here at IP Farms. See what happens over the next couple days. Till then, thank you.